Western Australia. Why does it matter? Well, it always matters, but why does it matter in particular when it comes to this election? You would recall that in the 2022 election, now Quokkas couldn't vote, but I love Western Australia. That was us heading off to Rottnest Island this year. Our town will be back, by the way, next year. So if you'd like to give us an idea of locations we should go to, hey, send me an email, right? ourtown@skynews.com.au, ourtown@skynews.com.au. There I am at Roddy. Hopefully you get a chance to go and see them. Catch the ferry over from Freo. Now, as for the actual voting in Western Australia, at the last federal election, there was a significant change from people who had voted coalition in the past to moving across to Labor. You can see there, 10 points down. It meant that a whole collection of seats moved, sometimes for the first time ever, from blue to red. Labor, the key beneficiary, a little bit off in minor parties, but you can see that basically people walk from one side of the street to the other. But I want to give you an idea, not just that, oh, this massive swing of... Here's the reality, right? If about 30,000 people change their mind, or even 15,000 people change their mind, then those margins start to close, and seats that they currently have, well, they become at the very best marginal, or they may well start flowing back the coalition's way. Put simply, we will all next year, regardless of what time the election is, be looking to Western Australia as its polls close, couple of hours or 3, depending on Australian Daylight Savings Time or Australian Eastern Standard Time, we will start to have a look at Western Australia, because Western Australia, if the coalition has a chance of forming a minority, well, they have to win seats in Western Australia. For Labor to be able to hold on to a majority, but most likely not, they will have to hold on to everything they currently have in Western Australia. Hence why the first port of call for the Prime Minister, post what has just taken place in the Parliament, among other things, the nature positive legislation, oh, it's completely been thrown in the... no, just into the top drawer, okay? That's where it lives. So I need to show you the seats that are in danger. Now remember, some of these things like Pearce might seem like, geez, that's not a marginal seat. Well, of course, population-wise, and if only, between 15,000 and 30,000 people change their mind, all of these things could switch back from red to blue. In terms of the Blue, though, they need to be able to improve on their performance from 2022. They can't afford to lose Moore, Canning, Durack, Forrest or O'Connor. So again, all of these margins are relatively close in a state where the population is not as populous as, say, a Victoria or a New South Wales, and the electorates, if they swing, they could swing hard. And we know that there's a lot of issues with the local government, so that's why Western Australia matters. It also is why, when the Prime Minister turns up in Western Australia and pulls off garbage like he did. Remember when he turned up and the reporter for the newspaper was, oh sir, can you sign a pledge here that you're not going to change anything about the GST? Remember who the reporter was. Somebody who was a media advisor to a minister in the Albanese government when they were the Albanese government. Not way back when, but in the Albanese government. It was essentially a Labor Party stunt done with a staffer who was of Labor extraction. That, nature positive, and the ability for just a few people in an entire state to go from here to there, and the entire picture could change. Western Australia will be the difference. Now, we've talked a lot in American politics about swing states, and this matters and this matters. Again, marginal seats are always what matters. But there are different things happening in different states around the country that will either show the coalition getting close enough to form its own version of minority, or Labor falling back far enough to lose its majority. All of that will be decided in part by Western Australia. Every day between now and when that decision is made, we're here.